Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be tackling an important question while designing database in Laravel. So when to use JSON column versus separate table. So let's get into some of the slides that I have prepared for this. And I'll also be showing the comparison between both approach, how much time it takes to query both in both approach. So let's get started. So the question is, when you first start learning and designing things, there is option for JSON column as well as creating a separate table. So while using JSON column, you have flexibility. You can insert any record into it, no relationship you need to define, and it is best when you don't have to query the record that much often, such as in case of saving any webhook logs, saving any response from API that you might need later on, saving quick user preferences um, that is not frequently queried. I will show you in code in a moment what I mean by that. And so here is example of defining JSON column in Laravel, and we can store the preferences like this. We can save any other data. We don't have to define new column. So if in future we need to add any other things in preferences like email preferences, so which channel of email they want, you get the idea, right? So it is best for storing settings, metadata and logs. All right. So to query data, let's say if user get all the user whose email preferences are true. So this is how we do. I think from MySQL 5.7 upwards, they natively support JSON querying like this. So JSON are also good nowadays, but not compared to a separate table in case of filtering and sorting. So these are slightly, I mean, if data is very big, the difference is noticeable. It is slower comparison to the separate related database. In MySQL, you cannot index. I think you can index, but performance is not as much as like you index in Postgres. In Postgres, the JSON indexing and things are a little bit good. They are good compared to MySQL. So now question is when to use separate table. So when you need to construct a logic around the columns, it is hard if you put them in JSON column because you need to frequently query those columns, and you'll notice the performance hit. So for data that supports that you want to put the relationship and indexing for very large data sets, so examples might be order and order items, because in case of e-commerce, it is the main idea or main logic of e-commerce revolves around order and order items, right? So if you put them in JSON, then you'll have problem when generating reports, when generating any queries that you might need to display for different user in their dashboards. So using separate table is faster and more scalable. So here is a migration file for order and order items, and you can query, insert. So insertion is very easy when you do separate table. In case of JSON, if you want to update any record on JSON column, it is always tricky, always hard. You need to handle many things, like you need to validate properly and also get what is already there in a JSON column, and if you want to update, you need to track what is already in database and what user inserts, and then you need to merge both, kind of tricky thing when dealing with JSON columns, right? So query is easy. It is here is comparison. For complex query, little bit slower. Dynamic, it has fixed structure. Relationship not possible. In separate table we have possibility of this. Indexing is quite limited, only few database supports, and here full indexing available, good for small data versus large data set. Alright, so let's jump into code, and I will show you I have constructed two queries. Just to show you, I have created orders table. So this is the order table with the user ID, total amount, status, and I have also order items table. So these two I have already created, and I have also generated a seeder, order taste seeder, and here I have created 10,000 orders just to test things out, and I've generated order and order items with random data. Now let's go to the Tinker. So it is Laravel Tinker plugin in PHP Storm. So here first let's check how much time it takes to get the order quantity. So here what we are doing is we have in order table we have let me show you in actual database. I think here we go. So in orders table I have also added the items JSON column, and I'm storing order items in items JSON as well as in separate table just to compare things out. Now let's go back to VS Code and check. Alright, so here we are, and first let's get order items JSON and then some quantity and price as a total sales. So we are just getting the total sales of all the order. In this case, let's see, so it is taking 0.25 milliseconds. I think it gets us in microseconds or something. Yeah, just remember this 0.25, and we'll compare it with the relation table. Let's comment this out, comment everything, and over here we are starting the clock, and we are just subtracting that time with our current time. It will give us all the time that it took to execute this query. I don't know if you can see, it is quite small here, 0.25 in case of JSON, and in case of separate table 0.08. so it is almost like significant improvement. Although there is only 10,000 data, for small data you might not notice any difference, but if there are millions of records, then definitely it will be slower. Yeah, so these are some of the things that needs to be keep in mind while deciding which column, which structure you want to follow. So that's all for this video. If you need questions and any detailed video on this, please comment. I will see you on another video. Bye.